Do you guys want to see that something that I think is honestly quite frightening? Normally, for something like this, I would want to go over the whole video, but this specific oh no. Okay, well, never mind. I'm just kidding with you. You're going to see the horrors whether you want to or not. Normally, for something like this, I'd go over the whole video, but the whole thing's 20 minutes long, and kind of this point, like this one little bit of it is so exceptionally bad that I want to see it in isolation. Here we are on Fox Business with Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent. By the way, the highest ranking openly LGBTQ person in American history, in case you were wondering. Pete Buttigieg was before as Secretary of Transportation. As Secretary of Treasury, he's closer in line in succession to the United States presidency. He's gay? Yes, he's gay.
Story. The other day, you were asked a question by another outlet. Can you guarantee that we're not going to have a recession? And you wanted to address.
We saw that. Remember? That was the thing we saw. We saw it together. You were all there. I remember. You looked so good that day.
That this morning.
Yeah, well, look, it was a silly question. Can you guarantee there's not going to be a recession? I can't guarantee anything. I can't guarantee that the journalist who asked me the question that her news program's going to be on in a year. But what I can guarantee.
Yeah. I don't think that he's following through on like a legitimate. Okay, so first of all, and you just to like lay it out, this would be like an unconscionable thing to suggest in any previous administration, because it's unambiguously a threat, or at least it's interpretable as a threat. The fact that he felt comfortable saying that, I don't think he's actually indicating some kind of follow through. I don't think he's saying like, you know, oh, you actually will have your program shut down, or like here on Fox Business, like you actually are not going to be able to ask me or her over in that program. What was the program before, by the way? The one that he spoke on, was that NBC? I think that he was on. Was that the news channel he was on? Well, someone will tell me at some point. But either way, I don't think that he means it. But that's not really the point, right? It's the fact that he's responding that way. I know I keep saying this. I'm going to keep saying it. His job is to orchestrate a deliberate recession, because a recessionary economy devalues the assets within this country, which allows them to be scooped up by people when they get liquidated. And then when the economy inevitably rebounds, those people are wealthier than God. You get me? And this is not a popular talking point. Elon Musk and a few others in the administration have said there will be short-term pain, but don't worry, on the other side, things will be good. And it turns out that messaging just doesn't land with people. People actually don't like hearing that. People are not doing great right now. So when your argument to them is essentially like, remember 2008, we're going to do that on purpose. And we're going to do it so we can get wealthier. It doesn't really work for them. You know, it's just not a good message. So Scott Bessent, he hates this question because he knows what his job is, but he can't just say it, right? So he gets really indignant, which is funny because he's going to keep getting asked this question over and over again, and it's going to get worse when they actually do succeed in crashing the economy, which, by the way, they're doing a remarkable job so far, you know? You have to work pretty damn hard to drop the S&P 500 by like 10% within 2 months. That's pretty good. Outside of something like doing a 9/11 or starting a civil war or like outside of some immediate violent action, that's an impressive decline, you know? Very powerful stuff. And it's only going to get worse from here.
To you is that there is no reason we need to have a recession. I think that there's the economy in the first quarter is doing better than the media is reporting. I think
it's no. We don't have the first quarter numbers yet. We will soon. And the estimates we have, the signifiers we have going into them, are not looking good, is my understanding. We took a look the other stream at that New York, what was it? The New York Business Bureau, or like the Empire State Manufacturing. It was some like internal measure of economic activity in some sectors within New York State, and there's been like a massive decline over the past few months. That will reflect in the Q1 report.
Seeing some very good underlying data from credit card companies, from banks. I think that the airlines, which reported some bad passenger numbers, a big amount of that is from federal employees who are not flying right now. So the
What? The decrease in flights are how does that work? First of all, that counts too. What is it? You fired those federal employees. So so even if that was the case, even if that was the reason why, that's still fewer people flying. What do you mean by that? Those flights were paid for.
The underlying economy is healthy.
I'm sure.
They have substantial tariffs, and as important as the tariff are some of these non-tariff barriers, where they have domestic content production, where they do testing on whether it's our food, our products, that bear no resemblance to safety or anything that we do to their products.
See, these are the things that people are really worried about, because they first thought it was just about trade. Then they thought it was just about fentanyl. Then after that, we talked about, well, maybe it's currency manipulation, and maybe it's now you're talking about food testing. And when I bring up the issue of clarity, that's what I'm talking about, and that's what I'm hearing from corporate America, that we're not sure where this is going. But of course, we will get resolution on April.
Even Fox News doesn't like that. Dude, the people who watch Fox Business are like eyeing the window to jump out of right now. Okay? Look, the people who watch Fox Business are deeply evil people, and they, in large part, voted for Trump for lower taxes and because they think they can get a game in on the market. The market is plummeting right now. I bet a lot of these people had Tesla shares, too. Like, the constituency represented by Fox Business, these are going to be some of the most around, found out individuals out there. Like, these people are going to be the fell for it people, more so than any other group, because at least people who mainly watch mainstream Fox News can be like, yes, all my civil rights are gone, but at least we deported brown people, yeah. But over here on Fox Business, they've been like, oh, no, I'm not like those guys on mainstream Fox News, okay? The reason I supported Trump is because I think this stupid retard will make the economy good or something, I don't know. But like, you know, I want that because I'm a small business tyrant or something. And then they bring Scott Bessent on here, and Scott Bessent is like, if you ask me whether I'm going to do a recession again, yes, I'm going to do a recession. Is that what you want to hear? You're all going to die. Is that what you want to hear? Is that what you hear from me so badly? Well, there you go. So like, I basically what I'm saying is that I genuinely think you're going to get like increasingly funny dynamics out here on Fox Business. I think you're going to get good content here, you know? Or I will, at least.
Second, rather, Secretary Long.
And she's basically like, well, so can we get some consistency from the administration? Because it's like border, trade, fentanyl, illegal immigration, currencies, like what's going on, you know? Let's see the whole thing here.
April. Critical industries.
Okay, I said I wouldn't see the whole thing. Maybe just a little bit? Are we okay with that? Just a little bit?
And countries that were not treating us well.
A new Harris poll shows 72% of Americans are concerned about the impact of tariffs, up from 61% in mid-January. Mr. Secretary, what do you want to say?
72%? That's pretty bad.
Say about these tariffs and the extent of how high they may go?
Maria, what I want to say is President Trump has identified several critical industries that we let get away from us. We have
as always, by the way, as is always the case on Fox Business, my camera is blocking the big red square that tells us that things are going great. Just know that.
have a steel industry. We have to have an aluminum industry. He wants to bring back manufacturing to the United States. And we are putting these tariffs on. So with critical industries, we are going to bring that production back home. As far as it goes with reciprocal tariffs, President Trump, as only he can do, has created a win-win situation. We are going to, on April 2nd, we're going to produce a list of other countries' tariffs, and we are going to go to them and say, look, here's where we think the tariff levels are, non-tariff barriers, currency manipulation, unfair funding, labor suppression, and if you will stop this, we will not put up the tariff wall.
Oh, you can get rid of the tariffs anytime you want. You just have to get rid of immigration, fentanyl, trade imbalances. You can't buy or sell more than us. You have to buy and sell the exact same amount of us. Stop manipulating the currency. Just like, you know, just don't. We're being very transparent and clear about our intentions here. Remember, the goal is to create confusion and uncertainty to create a recession deliberately. Scott Bessent knows that.
If you do, then we will put up the tariff wall to protect our economy, protect our workers, and protect our industry. So, again, it's win-win. Either the trade friction that these other countries have come down and we get fair trade, and if they don't follow President Trump's lead, then he will raise the tariff wall, and as he said in that video, we're going to take in substantial revenues. We're already taking in substantial revenues from the...
April 2nd is when the reciprocal tariffs go into play. That's going to be a fun day for the market.
China tariffs that can be used to fund this massive government deficit that we have.
When you're talking about the steel tariffs, and they've gone into effect, but that's 25%. But then you've got another 25%, right, coming for just the country. So are you talking about 50% tariffs then on steel and aluminums from whichever country you're talking about? Because these are stacked, right?
I do think it's really, like, telling that he genuinely looks, like, just off of body language alone, like he doesn't want to be here and he doesn't think he should have to answer these questions. He does not seem like someone who believes what he's saying or somebody who is here to earnestly convince you of something. He's somebody who in his head knows that none of this matters because the plan is already in motion. Sorry, I'm not trying to sound conspiratorial. The plan, like it's complicated or whatever, you know, it's like it could be done by a literal, like, monkey. It's not like a delicate plan. It's like, well, okay, the plan is to hit this cardboard box with a mallet. It's a lot of ways you can skin the cat is what I'm saying. I don't know why that's a phrase.
And on steel and aluminums from whichever country you're talking about, because these are stacked, right? These tariffs.
No. Maria, what's going to happen on April 2nd, each country will receive a number that we believe that represents their tariffs. So for some countries, it could be quite low. For some countries, it could be quite...
That we believe represents their tariffs? Not just will... What?
High. So there's not an automatic 25 plus 25 that's going to happen. And when, you know, the poll you just read, I think that that's a source of a lot of the consternation that's happening. And, you know, what we can see...
Yeah, exactly. So now no one can plan anything. Like, you can't even have businesses make rational decisions about whether they should be hoarding more product or whether it would be worth more money to, like, get a warehouse to hoard stuff now before the tariffs kick in. Anything like you can't even, like, there are literally millions of people in this country whose jobs are dependent on supply chains that are managed by people who have no idea what the price of the items is going to be in a month.
In the administration is President Trump is on what is seemingly an unstoppable roll since January 20th. The Democrats are overwhelmed, so they've gone to their friends in the media, very friendly judges, to try to stop him. So
okay, see, now he doesn't have any answers to the tariff questions, so now he's just rolling back into the standard Trump administration dogma, which he didn't even get a lead in on this. There wasn't even a question he was being asked about, like, whether or not aluminum and steel tariffs would compound additively with the general tariffs against Canada, and he's like, well, okay, we'll set that aside for the moment. Yeah, then get back to the old hits.
the Democrats can't stop him, so the media is creating these distortions.
It's the media that's creating these distortions by asking me questions like, are you deliberately creating recession? And also, like, what are the basic tariff numbers? Which he didn't answer, by the way. He's literally saying, like, the media is the one creating this confusion. By the way, I won't tell you how much the total tariff on steel and aluminum will be. I won't tell you, oh, our reciprocal tariffs? Well, they'll be based on a number of, like, what we think their tariff should be. Okay.
Bear no resemblance to the truth of what's going to happen. These judges are stopping. Could you believe that a judge wanted to stop this? The
Trendeiragua.
Yeah, they wanted to stop us from expelling the most violent criminals in the Western Hemisphere from the U.S.
It's unbelievable.
President Trump said that for the past 9 months.
Yeah, I know. It is quite extraordinary. Now, what I'm asking you is, are these stacking...
Dude, even the Trendeiragua, yeah, the judge, the deportation, yeah, I get you. So anyway, like, what I meant 5 minutes ago was
stacked tariffs when it comes to aluminum and steel. In other words, if you've got 25% tariffs on aluminum and steel, and then you've got reciprocal tariffs coming, is that going to be stacked on top of the 25% aluminum and steel? That's what I'm trying to understand. Could it go as high as 50% for some countries? And what is the highest tariff that you're expecting on which country?
Well, yeah, so that's being run by USTR and Commerce. I haven't seen the numbers. I will have a better sense as...
You are the Secretary of the Treasury, and you have been planning this implementation of reciprocal tariffs for 2 months now. You're really telling me by now you don't have numbers?
We get closer to April 2nd. So
no way to plan. If you're a businessman, no way to plan. Sorry.
They could be stacked, but look, a lot of countries don't produce steel or aluminum. And again, Maria, what I can tell you is going into April 2nd, some of our worst trading partners in terms of the way they treat us have already come to President Trump offering to substantial decreases in very unfair tariffs. So I'm optimistic that April 2nd, some of the tariffs may not have to go.
No, they haven't, by the way. No, they haven't. He's lying here. It really does all fall into place once you... I can't say realize, because I'm still speculating, but once you believe that the plan is a deliberate recession, right? All of this suddenly makes sense, you know? Elon and other statements about there being temporary hardship, Trump for years now wanting to devalue the American dollar, like all these comments about trade imbalances, subsidies going to Canada, all of the deliberate misinformation that hurts the business class as well. It's the only thing that fits into the... It's the only round peg for the round hole, you know? I wonder how many people in the administration know that are fully aware. He is, Trump is, Elon is, obviously, maybe the whole cabinet. The average representative, the average senator, probably not. Maybe some. Maybe Thune doesn't know. I don't know.
On because a deal is pre-negotiated, or that once countries receive their reciprocal tariff number, that right after that they will come to us and want to negotiate it down.
That's a very good point, because the truth is you're only talking about who has the steepest tariffs. When you're talking about all the countries out there, is it like 15% of those countries that you're really talking about the bulk of the tariffs?
Well, it's 15% of the countries, but it's a huge amount of our trading volume. So, Maria, there's a big group of countries where we have a small surplus, but we don't do a lot of trading with them. And then there's what we would call kind of the dirty 15.
Really?
they have substantial tariffs, and as important as the tariff are some of these non-tariff barriers, where they have domestic content production, where they do testing on our, whether it's our food or product.
Sorry, I just got bored of this. My apologies. I just got bored of this. Yeah, he's got to be careful saying dirty 15 around Republicans. That shit means something different to them. Yeah, no, it's I don't know. I like watching Scott Bessent on here because I like how contemptuous he is of being asked any questions about his job. I like the fact that he doesn't think he should have to answer those questions, and he very obviously knows that there's no point to any of it. He's not very good at selling the idea. It is pretty funny, in my opinion. In my opinion. An economist I follow said the reason they chose April 2nd was so that the first quarter report will come out with decent economic numbers. That is almost certainly true. Yeah, that's almost certainly true. That way it'll be a whole 3 months so that they before they have any like direct reflection of them. Q1's gonna suck shit anyway, let's be real. Yeah, probably. Indicators seem to lean in on that, yeah.